We're almost there. Right now, as soon as possible, we need to get Sigurd to go and stand in front of this castle and talk to Lachesis. This conversation basically just sets up the events for the rest of the chapter. So your goal basically is to defeat all the corrupt lords of Augustria and rescue Eltersane. And also, Lachesis joins. Now, Lachesis is a pretty interesting character. She's, well, sort of like one of those Est-type characters, although I tend to use the archetype in a different sense than a lot of other people do. Basically, she starts off extremely weak, and, yeah, will likely die in a couple of hits to the enemies here, but it's important to get her experience, because, well, you know, these sort of S-type characters tend to end up with decent stats, or in most cases, but with Lachesis it's kind of different, because her growths actually aren't that amazing. Really, strength is the only decent stat she has, but the main reason she ends up amazing is because of her class. Well, she starts off as a princess who can use swords and staves, but her upgraded class is probably one of the most overpowered in Fire Emblem history. Basically, when she upgrades, she gets the pursuit skill, is mounted, and can use every single type of weapon and magic, except dark, and has an automatic A rank in all of them. Yes, she has an A rank in everything. So as you can tell, that's extremely useful to have, but in order for Lachesis to get there, you need to level her up as her crappy princess class. There are several different tactics you can use for this. I'm going to show a few of them here now. Oh, annoying NPC knights. Now, this is where I start to get angry at them, because once Lachesis joins, these guys have this drastic change of AI. Stop stealing my kills. They have this drastic change of AI where they try and attack the closest enemy, even if it gets themselves kills. Yeah, this gets really annoying. Notice how they've completely deserted the castle and left only Sigurd defending it. But for some reason these guys are magnetically attracted to Kuan. Yeah, it's more important other characters get experience, but you can't really help it if Kuan ends up killing someone. Now, Lex does need the experience. In fact, you can potentially get Lex promoted in this chapter because of his elite skill. But I wouldn't really advise that, because that'd take away a lot of experience from other people. Around chapter 3, which is the next one, is when you want most of your people to be promoting during that chapter. At least the enemies have other people to target other than these NPCs. Things aren't looking very good for Eve. Come on, dodge! Damn it, Eve! What did I tell you? Can't dodge at the right moment. And it was about here when I gave up on getting the Night Ring, because I just got so frustrated. I try as hard as I can to keep the other two alive, but, well, you'll see the effort to that in the rest of the chapter. Yeah, sorry about that. Accidentally overwrote a save file. I like to have Kuan finish off Elliot because Elliot dropped his silver lance, and Kuan is probably the only person who can use it. Elliot does have a special conversation with Lachesis, but I wouldn't advise you to do that unless you've weakened him so much that she can kill him in one hit, because he will kill her in one hit. And here's one of the ways to get Lachesis experience. Basically, let her finish off weakened enemies. You'll want to be doing this a lot if you're planning on using her. And you generally should be planning on using her unless you really, really hate people who start off underleveled. I mean, her stats actually aren't fantastic, but she just becomes so versatile as a Master Knight. Finally, our foot soldiers are getting close. Also, if you're playing this, you'll want to remember to keep somebody in front of Niden Castle. I kind of forgot to do this at one point and it was a bit embarrassing. Especially if you're going for the Night Ring, because the 3 NPCs disappear if an enemy captures the castle. Vantage plus Brave Weapon equals Awesomeness. And it's about now Lex starts to become a tank. So Noiden's pretty much safe. Our next move will be to take on the defenders of Haiheen.